All right, guys, here we go. Let's knock out this crazy review. It's a short week this week, but hopefully no big deal. Okay, the first few, we're going to multiply with the LCD on this first one. First of all, we need to tell this, though. We need to tell what x cannot equal. X can equal 0 because of that last fraction. The LCD is going to be 20x. I'm going to multiply every term in there by 20x, and stuff's going to cancel like crazy. On that first term, the 4 goes into 25 times. That leaves a 5, an x, and a 1. Multiply those together, you get 5x. The second term, 5 goes into 24 times. That leaves a 4 and an x and a 1. That's 4x. And then the last term over here, the x is canceled, leaves 20. Now you can just solve it like normal. All you got to do, guys, is get to that first step, that first line, and you got it, really, because it's just a regular equation after that. All right, number two, one fraction on each side. Anytime you just see one fraction on each side, that's the proportion. I'm going to cross multiply. That's going to be 2x squared plus 2x. When I go this way, that's going to be 5x plus 7. Now, the bad news on this one is I have an x squared. When you have an x squared, that means I got a factor. So I'm moving everything over. So I'm moving that 5x over. That gives me negative 3x. I'm moving the 7 over. It gives me minus 7. That's a slide, divide, slide. So I'm going to slide that 2 over like that. And you know what? That doesn't factor. So I picked a bad one here. I promise you the one on your test tomorrow is going to work out really good. This one I'm going to have to actually do quadratic formula on. Sorry about that. X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And I'm going to work out what's inside there. Let's see, that's 2856 plus 9. That's going to be 65 over 4. And guys, that's the best you can do. Again, the one on your test is going to work out much better than that. That is, oh, never mind. I see the mistake. Sorry about this. It's not letting me erase. I'm kind of glad you got to see this. That's going to make the video a little bit longer, but I made a bad mistake in that first line. Let's do it again. Cross multiply. I should have known when I wasn't getting a good answer that I messed it up. Multiply that way, 5x plus 35. 35. See, I had 7 there a second ago. So move the 5x over. Move the 35 over. There we go. Now that's slide, divide, slide. Slide the 2 over. That's going to be a 70. Factors of 70 that give me 3 would be 10 and 7. So, and don't forget to divide by the 2. And when I do that, I get 5 and I get negative 7 halves. Both of which, neither one of those will make the bottom 0. So we're good. Man, that took too long. Sorry about that. But I'm kind of glad you got to see it. If you get a weird answer, always go back and look and see if you messed up somewhere. Okay, number 3. I'm going to factor the bottom of this one, the x plus 3x minus 3. X cannot equal either positive or negative 3. And my LCD is going to be x plus 3, x minus 3. I'm going to take every term. I'm going to put x plus 3 times x minus 3. X plus 3 times x minus 3. Okay, and what happens is those cancel. That leaves me a 5 and an x plus 3. The second two, the x plus 3's cancel, leaves a 3 and an x minus 3. And then finally, all that stuff cancels, just leaves a negative 2. All right, let's distribute over here. And this should be the easy part. Once you get, I said that before, once you get to that line, things should really not be bad at all. Let's move the 24 over. It's negative 26 divided by 2. Get negative 13. And there you have it. Ready for that. Number 4. It's got a cube root. Opposite of a cube root is cubing. So I'm going to cube both sides. Cube the left-hand side, the radical goes away. Over here, if you cube negative 3, you get negative 27. You can punch it in your calc if you need to. I hope you don't. Move the 3 over, that's negative 30. Divide by 4, you get negative 30 over 4, which happens to reduce to negative 15 halves. And we're good. Don't have to check cube roots. Number 5. First thing you do is isolate the radical. So I'm moving that 5 to the other side. I got 2x minus 1 equals 3. That's a square root, so do the opposite, square both sides. If you square to 3, you get 9. Let's move that 1. Get 10, divide by 2, you get 5. You do need to check that answer if you know I just circled it. If I plug 5 right there, that's 10 minus 1, which is 9. Square 9 is 3. 3 plus, yep, it works great. Number 6, again, isolate the radical. It's going to be a little tougher. Isolate that radical. It means you got to move that 5 over, make it x minus 5. Square both sides. Okay, not just each term, but square both sides. Square the left-hand side, you get x plus 1. Square the right-hand side, you go square, multiply, double, square. Now I got a square, I know I got a factor, so I'm moving everything over. Moving the x over first, that gives me a negative 11x. Moving the 1 over, it gives me positive 24. So I'm thinking, what factors of 24 give me negative 11? It's 8 and 3. So my answers are 8 and 3, maybe. Let's check them. If I plug 3 in there, 2 plus 4 is 2. Plus 5, nope, 3 does not work. Plug the 8 in there, yeah, it does work, so the only answer is 8. You gotta check those. You have to check radical answers. Okay, this is probably the worst one on the whole test. I'm just saying that. You can take that for what it's worth. Move that squared over. Got to isolate one of the radicals. So I'm isolating this one. The negative sign stays, guys. All right, now I'm going to square both sides. The reason I left that negative sign is if I square a negative, it becomes positive anyway. So all I get is 3x minus 3. On the right-hand side is square, multiply, double. And that's how you multiply double. You multiply by 2. Square. If you square root, the square root goes away. Now what happens is it gives me another radical. So I got to isolate it. So I'm moving the 1 over there. That becomes a minus 4. I'm moving the x over there. That becomes a 2x. And I have this on this side. Now, I still don't have the radical isolated because I got the negative 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And I get negative 2 goes into 2 negative 1 times. It goes into 4 2 times. And I got to square again. Good night. So I'm squaring this side. Square that side. Over here I get x. Over here I get square. Multiply, double, square. And again, all right, I got to factor again. So I'm going to move the x over. It's 5x plus 4. Factor that thing. X minus 4, x minus 1. Finally, get 2 answers of 4 and 1 maybe. I got to check that. I'm plugging the 4 in right now in my head. Let's see, 4 would be 2. 4 minus 3, 12, 9. Nope, the 4 doesn't work, actually. The 1, let's see, the 1 does work. Okay, so one of them did, one didn't. Oops. Number 8, solve by factoring. This should be, compared to the ones you just did, this should be a piece of cake. Just what factors of 21 give you 10? 3 and 7. What are my 2 solutions? Negative 7, negative 3. Don't make that tough. Also, same thing is true in number 9. Number 9, let's move that 25 over. Divide by 5. Take the square root of both sides. Don't forget your plus or minus sign. And also, because it's negative, don't forget to take the I out. And you got it. Number 10 says complete the square. We start off, remember, half the middle, square, add to both sides. But before you do that, you need to have space. So move that 11 over to the other side. Now, half the middle, half of negative 6 is negative 3. Square it and add to both sides. Always add to both sides. So that's going to be negative 2. Over here, the reason we complete the square is so we can write it with the parentheses with the square. And the half always goes inside the parentheses. All right, let's square root both sides. Square root the left-hand side is that. Square root the right-hand side. Don't forget your plus or minus sign. Don't forget to take out the I. And just move the 3 over, guys. And once you do that 3 over, donezo. Number 11, solve by quadratic formula. Y equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, let's work out what's inside that radical. That's going to be 25, let's see, 4 times 16. 25 plus 16 is going to be 41 over 4. And because you can't not break down 41, you're done right there, which is really good. Okay, 12 and 13, you got to find all the stuff on these parabolas. So I'm doing negative b over 2a. So it would be positive 8 over 2 times 1. That's going to be 4. So my vertex is going to be 4 something. My axis is always the same thing as the x-coordinate. Don't forget to write x equals. Because that's a positive x squared, it's opening up, which means it has a min. So what I need to do is find the y. The way I'm going to find the y is I'm going to take that 4 and plug it into those x's. So here it goes. 4 squared is 16. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 10. That gives me, if I work that out right there, 26 gives me negative 6. So I get negative 6 there, negative 6 there. There's your 3. So do one more of those. Negative b over 2a, which will give me negative 6/4, which is negative 3/2. So my vertex is going to be negative 3/2 something. My axis, x equals negative 3/2. This one has a positive 2 in the front, so it's also opening up. It's got a min. I've got to find the y again, so I'm going to plug negative 3/2 in there using my calculator. When I punched it in, I got 7/2. That goes there. It's also my minimum. The minimum, of course, is the y coordinate. One more slide. 14, find the 28th term. They gave you what to do here. So I'm doing the 28th term is the first term plus n minus 1. Guys, that's the n. So 28 minus 1 is 27 times d. D is the difference. You can tell by looking, or you do second term minus the first term, and it is 8. I'm just going to punch that straight in my calculator. 7 plus 27 times 8. And it's giving me 223. That's a straight up formula. This one is 2. But remember, R, for this one, R must be between negative 1/2 and positive 1/2. This time I'm looking at it, R is actually 1/2. The way you find R is you put the second one over the first one, and you get 1/2. So the way you find work out the formula says A1, which is 12 over 1 minus R, which is 1/2, gives me 12 over 1/2. You can punch that in, you're going to get 24. So 24 is that, and don't forget your R right there. Your R must be between negative 1 and positive 1. Okay, 3 more. 16, just distribute right here. Negative 12 times negative 6i is 72i. And then negative 30i squared. Don't forget what I squared does. It's really negative 1, which makes it a positive 30. So 32 plus 72i. We like to put the I last every time. This is straight up FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. There's that I squared again, which to make that become positive 15. So I'm going to add that positive 15 to the 2 in the front. 2 plus 15 is 17. I'm going to add my two i's together, negative I. One more, and we are done for the review. All right, got to multiply by the conjugate of the bottom of the denominator. The conjugate of 3 minus 11i is 3 plus 11i. Oops, 3 plus 11i. So, in my denominator, you do, because they're conjugates, I'm going FL. 3 times 3, and then boom. All right, I squared, there it is again. It's really negative 1, makes that positive 121. 121 and 9 is 30. Now just distribute. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 11 is 44i. One piece of bad news is those are all even numbers. So I'm going to divide them all in half, reduce that fraction. 6 is half of 12. 22 is half of 44. 65 is half of 30. 130. And there it is. All right, guys, that's quite a bit. Pretty big test right there. So hopefully, wasn't too bad. If you need me, come see me before we take this thing in the morning. I'll be there early. Let me know. See you then. Bye.